HomoSep. I'm a robot. I have been designed and trained to work in the drains around your house very soon. But what will I do in the drains? I will clean them. This is what I have been made for. Created by Professor Prabhu Rajagopal of Center for Non-Destructive Evaluation at Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. That is IIT Madras and his team. I am incubated with the startup Solinas Integrity Private Limited. Both are working in full cooperation. Are you wondering why the gutter cleaning robot has such a high-tech name? Why am I called HomoSep?
HomoSep is a name that is made out of these words homogenization of septic tanks. It is just a nice short representation of the function of the robot as such.
Every robot is designed with sensors, motors, working modules. So what is my working style? The process is complicated but interesting. Just listen to this.
We have been developing robots for inspection of pipes and tanks for a while. It is in this context that we started looking at robots for inspection of septic tanks as sewer lines first. And a few years ago, when we were going and reaching out to the stakeholders through the Safai Karamchari Andolan, which is an NGO focused on eradicating manual scavenging, we came to know that there is a lot of deaths happening in the septic tanks. And even today, there is a live problem because about 40 to 50% of the connections in this country, toilets in this country are connected to septic tanks as such. So, and a few years ago, we went and interacted with the Safai workers who are associated with the Safai Karamchari Andolan, and we came back quite moved because there are people who are losing their lives. Even survivors lose their hair, lose nails, lose eyesight. So it is a very grim situation, and we thought that, can we try and develop a solution addressing this very practical human problem, and that's how we developed this robot.
Now let's see how I work. I have an umbrella, not the one that saves us from rain, but the one which makes the drain cleaning simple and fast. My umbrella, or what the scientists call blades of my machine, remain closed otherwise. They open when I enter the gutter on the road. It is very easy to operate.
So the HomoSep robot has been developed in stages. The heart of the robot is a set of blades, what we call as a rotary blade, which works very much like a set of rotary blades in a kitchen mixer grinder. So, but this is just inverted. That's all. So, we call it an inverted umbrella mechanism. When in a retracted position, the blades are very compact, and we can then insert them into a manhole connected to every sewer septic tank as such. And once it enters the tank, the inverted umbrella opens up, so the blades come out of their position, and then we can rotate and homogenize the contents just like in a mixer as such. So this is at the heart of the robot.
Do you notice the tractor that is carrying me? It's huge and bulky. But what if your streets are narrow for a tractor to enter? Then how the gutters on your narrow road will be cleaned? Don't worry. Scientists are making more robots like me, which can be mounted on motorbikes, even on bicycles, and will carry out the cleaning operations.
The blades as well as the controller are positioned right now on a tractor, for example, but in the future we can also position it on similar mobile vehicles such as a Tata Mini or a mini vehicle and so on, ACE or APE. For example, eventually we are even looking at 3-wheelers and 2-wheelers for towing smaller versions of this robot.
You must be wondering that if my size gets smaller, then my working power will suffer. No, that will not be the case.
Actually, the power capabilities required for the rotary blades depends upon the target volume of the tank. So in a setting where, for example, in an industry or in a large residential complex, or For example, in a shopping mall and so on, you have large tanks, and over there a heavy duty contraption such as one that is connected to a tractor is useful. But in a more medium kind of residential facility, you can have a blades with lesser torque capacity, and that's where a mini vehicle such as an ACE or APE is useful. There are even smaller tanks connected to individual homes where the ones which are connected to a 3-wheeler or a 2-wheeler, we are envisaging them to be used. So ultimately the effectiveness of homogenization is indeed connected to the torque requirements, and that we are coupling it to the size of the tank rather than keeping it as a general freewheeling solution.
I am a robot and I have been designed to make the work easy for humans, but not to take away their work. I just need your support, and you all have to help me in the process.
At the very center of our work is the welfare of the Safai worker. And so I always emphasize that our solution is a mechanization and it is not an automation. So the operation is still carried out by a human worker. It is just that it is done from a safe setting, and it is done in a setting that does not affect their work dignity. So the operator of the tractor and the operator of the blades, for example, is situated outside the tank. The blades go in and perform the homogenization, and then we can suck the contents out. So this whole process is being done through a robotic mechanized solution as such. So we will not be replacing the Safai worker, only be providing them skills and also a safe and dignified environment to work.
Although I am very easy to use, but a little training will be required. Don't worry, it is very easy. The professor is explaining everything. Listen to him.
We have made our product in a way that is very simple to use, very simple to operate. There are a couple of things. We do require somebody to have a driving license right now to drive a tractor, for example. In the future, a 4-wheeler, 3-wheeler or a 2-wheeler. So that is one aspect. On the other hand, you have an aspect of controlling the capabilities of the robot, which are done through a pedal assist and also through PLCs. This is actually a minimal skill, which many of the Safai workers are semi-skilled, so we can upskill them and train them in gaining this understanding, gaining this know-how to operate the machines as such.
Another aspect to my story is my cost. To use me, the sanitation workers will have to buy me. So, will those poor sanitation workers be able to afford me? The scientists who made me have taken special care of my cost. They had long conversations with the cleaning staff. Long discussions were held with the families of deceased sanitation workers about their problems. Their work profile and financial conditions were kept in mind. And then my cost and expenses were finalized.
The robot does have a cost because we have a developmental cost, we have a fabrication cost and all that. But today the government has a number of schemes whereby aspiring Safai Karamchari self-help groups can get some financial support from the government to purchase machines that can help mechanize and automatize this process as such. So we can take advantage of these schemes, and the price point is actually, our design price point is keeping these kinds of schemes in mind as such. Now, the second thing is, even failing which, ultimately the price shouldn't be a deterrent, because we can work out models of ownership and operation by the Safai workers, whether in terms of leasing or in terms of financing options. Indeed, there are other MSMEs in the sanitation space who also have mechanized solutions, and they have come up with some excellent financial models as such that are currently under implementation. We are also studying some of these models to roll out when we take this to the mass scale implementation as such. So essentially, our price point will be in a range that is affordable, but even if it crosses that range, there are ways and mechanisms by which we can make them accessible to the Safai workers as such.
It will take me some time to reach your streets, but this delay is very important.
We have partnered with our own IIT Madras incubation startup, Sorinas Integrity Private Limited, and Solinas is the person that is an entity that will take this solution out for mass translation and scaling up. So today we are distributing a 10 number of units within Tamil Nadu, but soon within the coming year, we are planning to make and fabricate and distribute about 25 to in the range of several 20s, let us say, of machines, and these machines will be distributed all across the country. Now the solution is actually already commercially available. It is just a question of further refinement, further testings, which I believe will happen over this coming year. And even through this coming year, we do want to distribute machines in a few other places other than Tamil Nadu. So it is coming all over India. Over the next year and year or two, it should be more widely available.
So don't worry, at present my 10 units have been given to the sanitation workers of Tamil Nadu, who will learn to run me, work with my help. If they find any issues in my performance, they will give feedback to the scientists, and then those shortcomings will be removed, will be fixed, so that my best form reaches you.